Hi, and welcome back to my channel. As you can tell from the title of this video, today I would like to talk about the school I currently go to. A little bit of a background. In March 2019, I took the EaP Maths and English examinations, and half a year later I moved to Georgia to study towards the International Baccalaureate Diploma and finish high school abroad. Ever since, I've been living in an international environment, which has taught me a lot both about myself and those around me. I've been learning how to use our differences and unite our powers for the common good of all, as well as I've been trying to understand how the differences in our cultures, mentalities, and backgrounds shaped by the places we come from can be used to work together and be the change we want to see. Moving on to the topic of this video, today I would like to focus on the second round of the application process, which is the written examinations. As far as I know, even though in my year the exams were conducted in person in each of the member states, this year all of them have been conducted online due to the COVID situation, and obviously nobody knows what's going to be happening in the upcoming years. However, as far as I know, this year for the English examination, only one essay have been conducted, and they got rid of all the reading comprehensions and like anything else we could have. That's why I believe we could skip this part and just talk about some tips for writing an effective essay, as I believe it's an essential component of the IB. That's why it's essential to learn how to do it in order to get prepared for the school. So, first of all, what do I have here? Stay focused on the topic. That's really important. If they're giving you options and you can pick what you want to write about, just think about some specific examples and just check if you're really knowledgeable in the topic, because if you're not, I would hardly advise you not to take it, as you have to show the examiner that you know what you're talking about, and it would greatly affect your marks and therefore your success in the further rounds of the application. The second point I have is show multiple perspectives. I would like to stress that because it's really important as well, because it shows that you can think critically and you're actually knowledgeable about the topic, and you're able to put yourself into the shoes of another person in order to better understand what's going on rather than being biased by your own personal background. Other than that, use LinkedIn boards. I'm sure you can find plenty of them online, and I believe what it does is it actually structures your essay and portrays your thoughts in a more compelling way, which is a really essential component in order to get more points and consequently be more successful in comparison to the other applicants. Another idea I have is that it's better to use less words but correct grammar and minimum spelling mistakes, especially if you're writing it on paper. I guess English is your either second or third language. That's why, of course, nobody is gonna compare you to a native speaker due to the nature of the program that it's only open to 6 Eastern Partnership states. So you don't have to worry about it, but rather proofread your essay rather than put another bunch of words or another couple of paragraphs which kind of make no sense because they're not structured well or they have some grammar spelling mistakes. And another tip I have, both of them which are truly related to this as well, is first of all proofread everything you've written, as I've just said, and last but not least, improve your overall English skills, because all these tips are only gonna help you out if you're genuinely knowledgeable and fluent in English, as otherwise it would make no sense just to put a bunch of linking words if your grammar wouldn't be very good. That's why plan accordingly and distribute your time effectively in order to get developed in all the spheres of the English language, rather than just trying to memorize something that would potentially be helpful for the essay, because you never know the topic you're gonna get. Therefore, you should be prepared to use any kind of vocabulary and any kind of grammar to use the language effectively. As for the essay, there is really great structure which I stumbled upon accidentally just a couple of days before the exam, and to be honest, I'm actually using it up till now. So first of all, start from the introduction and then make your thesis out of at least 3 points with your main arguments and come up with a transition sentence. And then just in each of the paragraphs discuss one out of those 3 topics. And then in the next paragraph just come up with a great conclusion which pushes all of your points home and actually summarizes your main arguments. Sounds easy, but to be honest, easier said than done. So just keep practicing and your writing English will certainly get better over some period of time. Moving on to the math exam, I would like to say that there are several topics which are really easy. However, they are not taught in the post-Soviet curriculums. Therefore, if you are coming from a governmental school, I guess the odds are that you didn't really get a chance to study those, as I didn't as well. However, there is a really great resource I stumbled upon and I've been using it for like more than 2 months, and it really helped me to get prepared for the examinations. It's called Khan Academy, and even though I believe it is adopted to the US educational system, it's really helpful for the IB as well. That's why make sure to check it out. And other than that, in this video, I decided to focus on a small chunk of the information which you have to memorize in order to get prepared. And that's why let's discuss some formulas which would really help you out with your exercises and problem solving about statistics.
First of all, there are 2 main types of data which you have to know. First of which is discrete data. Basically, that's anything which you can count. For example, the number of pets you have in your house, or the number of presents you received on your birthday party, whatever. And the second type of data which you have to know is continuous, and it can be anything which you have to measure. For example, the temperature outside. Also, when it comes to statistics, usually you're given a set of data. For example, you're given temperature during the last 2 weeks, and you can analyze it and come to some conclusions by identifying the trend and actually finding out the relationship between the variables. There are also several ways to measure the center of the data. The first of which is mean, and I believe regardless of the school you come from, you should know how to do it, but maybe you do not know the specific vocabulary. That's why it's especially important to learn it, as otherwise you could lose some points on the exercises just because you didn't understand what you were asked to do. So, mean is the average of all numbers. Basically, you have to add up all the numbers you have on your sequence and then divide them by the number you have. Another measure of center is median, and basically it's a middle or central value. And as you can see on the picture, first of all, you have to put all the numbers in order from your smallest to the biggest number you have, and then you just have to pick the number from the very center, so to the left and to the right from it should be the same amount of numbers. However, if it's not possible due to the fact that you have an even amount of numbers, then you just have to add up the 2 numbers which would be at the center and then divide them by 2. And last but not least is mood. Basically, that's the most frequent value. For example, if we have a set like 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 2, then 2 would be the mood of this specific set of numbers. And another thing you have to know when it comes to some basic statistics is the quartiles. Basically, it's 1/4 of the data you have, therefore any kind of data can be divided into 4 equal parts, each of which would be a quartile. There are also several formulas which could be applied to the data. However, for them to work, you have to sort it out. First of all, you can be asked to find the range, and to do so, you have to subtract your minimum value from the maximum value. You can also be asked to find the lower quartile, which is 25th percentile, and what it means is basically you have to add up 7 and 8 for this specific example and divide it by 2. and in a similar way you're finding your upper quartile. And however, the question which is usually asked is to find the interquartile range. And the interquartile range, in order to do so, you have to subtract your lower quartile from the upper quartile, which sounds pretty easy. However, make sure you do some practice exercises to really understand what you would potentially be asked to do during your exam.
Moving on with the math exam, there are also some general tips which I would like to give. First of all, read through the whole exam, and there are several reasons why I'm highly advising you to do so. First of all, this way you can find out how many points are given for each of the exercises. Secondly, this way you can start from the easiest ones and get those easy points in case you run out of time and wouldn't really have time to complete them at the end of the exam, which seems like a really important topic, as this way you can still stay competitive as you get all those points and you don't really waste a lot of time on those. And another couple of tips I have is, first of all, watch out the time so you can balance it properly and complete all the tasks you are supposed to get done during a given time period. Memorize the formulas and also get the basic understanding of the topics which would appear on the screen. I believe they're not gonna change, but actually you're gonna receive like a booklet with all the topics you're supposed to get some basic understanding of right before the exam. So these have been all my tips and tricks on how I got into the Eastern Partnership European School. I hope it was helpful for you. If you still have any questions, please leave them down below. I wish you luck, and please stay persistent and stay determined on your goal. Never end just on watching this video, and dream big!